Fats. Fats are goodies or are baddies? Let's find out. Hi, Fumio Toki is here. Welcome to my channel, Keto Ninja Toki. We middle-aged men need keto diets more than anybody else, and I'm explaining why in my channel. I'm a kinda diet freak. I like experimenting different diets using my own body. It's super interesting. I once tried a low-fat diet too. I lost some weight and got some unwanted consequences too. My facial skin got dry and had acne. I also had ongoing fatigue. And so I googled and found all the negative impacts were due to the fat deficiency. I had terrible skin conditions and tiredness because I didn't eat fat. So I hopped out of the low-fat diet. Fats make up the cell membrane, the outer shell of the cell. In fact, 50% of the membrane is saturated fat, which we tend to demonize the most. A healthy cell looks like this. But as I ate the minimal amount of fat on the low-fat diet, my cell looked a bit like this. My membrane became weak, the cells were unable to pump. They were dehydrated and shriveled like raisins. This is why I got dried facial skin. Impaired cells are prone to inflammation, and that is why I got pimples as well. Mind you, facial skins are much thinner and more sensitive than any other skins, and so my facial skin paid a price for the low-fat diet. My precious experiment tells me fats, including saturated fat, are vital for the good skin condition. When the cell membrane gets plenty of fat, the cell is hydrated and juiced up. Then the cell can do two very important things: get nutrients in and put waste products out. The cell can do so as a piece of cake as long as the membrane is well oiled. On the other hand, if the membrane is in short of fats, the cell gets dried out, stiff, and compromised. Then the cell cannot get nutrients in. That means the cell gets malnourished. And the cell cannot get waste products out, so the cell becomes intoxicated. Consequently, the metabolism goes down at the cell level. Lower metabolism means weight loss would be harder and fatigue would be an ongoing issue. I was shocked when it came to me. I was full of these sick cells back then when I was on a low-fat diet. No wonder why I got so tired and unmotivated in addition to pimples on my face. Fats are ingredients to make hormones. Low in fats means your body cannot produce the so-called happy hormones such as serotonin and dopamine, so you get cranky and unhappy. By the way, I've been on keto diets for a couple of years. I enjoy the high-fat diet. Thanks to keto diets, my skin glows. No more dry skin, no more pimples, and my energy level stays an all-time high. How many cells do we have in our body? Trillions of them, right? And all the cells need quite a lot of fats. On top of the quantity, also quality is important. So what kind of fats should we eat? Let's find out. But first, a type of fat that should be steered clear of is oxidized fat. When you cut an apple in half and leave it on a table, it gets brown, right? That's oxidization. Oxygen in the air rusts the apple. When you heat oil at a high temperature, oxygen in the air rusts and oxidizes the oil. I worked at a restaurant when I was young. There was a deep fryer in the restaurant. The oil in the deep fryer was heated throughout the day and the night. I'm sure at the end of the day, oil was super oxidized. When oil is oxidized, it gets free radicals that damage the cells, increasing the risk of heart attack, stroke, and cancer. You definitely rule out oxidized fat from our food. You never know what kind of oil restaurants are using, though, or you never know how many minutes ago or hours ago they deep fried their chicken or fish. Maybe oxidized fat is in it. But it's not a total ban. You just want to think of how often you eat deep fried food at restaurants. Twice a month should be okay. And also make sure you eat deep fried food as fresh as possible. A fat we want to eat is, as I mentioned already, saturated fat. Saturated fat is in beef, lamb, butter, or lard. Saturated fat is usually animal fat and solid in room temperature. Plenty of saturated fat in keto-friendly food. By the way, saturated fat was, or even today is, blamed for cardiovascular diseases. But simply it's not true. Many latest researches show no connection between saturated fat and heart attack. Yes, saturated fat increases LDL, bad cholesterol, but what is often ignored is saturated fat also increases HDL, good cholesterol. So in the end, saturated fat would not disturb the balance between LDL and HDL. On top of that, your liver produces cholesterol too. Even you eat a lot of saturated fat, your liver reduces the amount of cholesterol it produces. So you wouldn't end up with tons of cholesterol in your body. No. Other type of fat is unsaturated fat. Unsaturated fat is liquid in room temperature. We need unsaturated fat as well. You see two fat molecules, right? One is saturated fat with two tails. The other one is unsaturated fat. It has two tails too, and one of these tails is bent over, right? Say, I'm magnifying a part of the cell membrane, and then it looks like this. If you eat saturated fat only, the membrane is compressed with saturated fat molecules. This makes the membrane is tight with less gaps. Nutrients and waste products need to put an effort to squeeze through the membrane. On the other hand, if the membrane is composed with both fat, saturated and unsaturated fat, more gaps are created in the membrane. That allows nutrients in and waste products out easily. So this is the reason why we need to strike a balance between saturated and unsaturated fats. When it comes to unsaturated fat, omega-6 and omega-3 are supposed to be essential. Typically, omega-6 is though included in the abundance of fast food and processed food, so I would skip omega-6. Omega-3 is, however, for most of us, in shortage. You want to definitely include omega-3 in your diets. A good source of omega-3 is fish, mackerel, sardines, salmon, tuna, etc. I often buy canned fish like this one, sardines. About four sardines in it, and it costs 65 cents, and it's yummy. I like it. If you don't like fish, get fish oil supplement. This one, 200 capsules in this tub, and it costs like $18, so it's inexpensive. Hope this video helped your weight loss endeavor. I'm logging off. Happy keto dieting! If you like my video, follow me on Twitter and subscribe my channel. Enjoy your day or a night!